In this video, I am breaking down the results from our very first week inside the brand new trading room. I will also go over the trading philosophy that drives my approach in the room and show you how it helps me maximize profits while navigating the often unfair rules by the different prop firms. All right, so let's talk about the results first. So for the week, it was a 4-day week. We had Labor Day on Monday. During the 4-day week, overall, from the trades taken in the room, $4,470 was collected in payouts. I post all the results in a trade journal channel, which is available to the public. So at the end of every trading day, other people post here as well. I post the 8 accounts that I use, and I really don't use the full 8 for the most part, but I list the 8 accounts that I use in the live trading room, and the daily results, the good, the bad, and the ugly is here. I blew 3 sim funded accounts during the week, and the way the math works for me, and I will explain it in a minute, is it takes me about $200 to replace a sim funded account. So since I blew 3 accounts, it's $600. I subtracted from the 4470 in payouts, and my net for the week is around 3800. Now, someone asked me, what if it's a one-to-one? For example, what if someone has just a very large account with a very large drawdown? I don't know, $7, $8, $9,000. If I just have one account, what would be the overall result if it's a one-to-one win to loss? Meaning, I don't calculate the amount of money it would cost me to replace an account, but simply if I made 1,000 and I lose 1,000, that's a zero. What then? Well, from my quick math, and again, you're welcome to come to the channel and check it out yourself, I think I still have a profit of around $1,100, about minus commissions. But I'm going to argue that it's the wrong way of thinking, and here is why. When it comes to prop firms, $1,000 in profit is not the same as $1,000 in loss. For example, let's say I have a take profit trader which pays on daily basis. If I'm past the threshold and I make $1,000, they're going to send me $800, right? 80-20 split. They're going to send me $800 into my account. That is actual money in my account. However, if I lose $1,000 is not coming out of my account. So it's not the same. The only question then becomes, how much would it cost you? Because even if you take a more extreme case, forget 1,000. Let's say you lose 2,000. So let's say you blow a 50K account. If you blow the account, the question becomes, obviously you did not lose $2,000. The question becomes, what would it cost you to replace that sim funded account? And next I'm going to share with you what it costs me. You're going to have to figure out what it costs you to have a more exact math. So with end of day trailing evaluations from such companies as Take Profit Trader or Top Step or My Funded Futures, Bullanax also has an option with end of day, but over there they cost more than the intraday evaluations. But with end of day, I have about a 50% success rate. Meaning what? Meaning it takes me 2 tries or 2 accounts to pass the evaluation and get my sim funded account. With intraday trailing drawdown evaluations, such as Bullanax or Apex, I have a 33% success rate, meaning it takes me 3 evaluation accounts to pass one and have a sim funded account. So with current sales, for example, take profit, it's like $100, $102 for the 50K, no activation fee. What does that mean? With an average of 50% success rate, it would cost me an average of $200 to replace a blown sim funded account. Now, Bullanox and Apex, those are the intraday, they have activation fees. However, their evaluations are much cheaper, especially if you can get a bunch when they have their 90% off, right? So it's pretty much the same thing, though. So it would cost me 15 times 3 because I have a 33% success rate with those kinds of firms. So 15 times 3 is 45, plus what I think it's $150 from Bullanox for the activation. So still around $200 to get a SIM funded account. The way the math works then is if I collect $1,000 in a payout and I blow an account, in actuality, I have $800 of net profit. Now, those of you who have been following me for a while, you will notice that my philosophy has changed quite a bit. I used to be a proponent of be careful, grow the account slowly, grow the account to 10,000 above starting balance. You have plenty of drawdown ability. And all of a sudden now it's like, never mind, just get your money, never mind about holding on to these accounts. Why? And the change is the response to what the prop firms are doing now. So a number of things changed dramatically over the past few years in the prop world. First, evaluation became extremely cheap. When I first started over 10 years ago, there were no sales. It was like $170 a month for, let's say, a 50K evaluations. Top Step, for example, had more than one step passing. You had to basically pass the evaluation twice to qualify for a funded account. There were not only activation fees, there were monthly fees on once an account became a SIM funded. Now a bunch of firms have no activation fee, and very often the evaluation accounts are less than $100. So that part played a minor role. A major reason for the change were actually two independent events that happened close together. First, after running this group for close to 3 years now and working with dozens of traders a week, I kind of realized that most traders are not able to hold on to accounts. With some exceptions, the vast majority of traders, even traders that are considered to be more successful, will still blow an account within about 3 months. Even if they collect a payout, they would still not be able to hold on to this account, and they begin to feel that they are not fully taking advantage of potential profits that could be generated from those accounts. And then a very personal event happened to me, I guess back in April of this year, where I'm not going to mention the company's name, but I had a number of SIM funded accounts with this firm in which I grew each account over 10K above starting balance, just the way I preached. And what they did was, without a warning, they told me, congratulations, you are now going live. And what they have done is they consolidated all my funded accounts into one live account. Now, I must say, it's not that it was a scam, because they did pay me the money that I accumulated in those accounts, and they transferred some to the live account. So it's not like they cheated me out of money. That wasn't it. But the point is, I went from having a number of accounts to just having one, which immediately drops my overall profitability from this firm. But not only that, the live account had different rules which were not favorable for me as a trader. The payouts became slower, and my fills, the trade fills, were just horrible. Between entry and exits, nothing like SimFund. It was much worse fills. This at least is my experience. Needless to say, I was I was quite upset. Here I was doing everything right, being a responsible trader, which they claim they're looking for responsible traders, and my reward was my accounts were taken away from me, stripped from a number into one, and that one had terrible rules. So I began to think, how do I avoid now going live in the other firms that I have accounts with? And it occurred to me that, well, if I blow accounts, there is no way they're going to give me a live account. So I said, okay, well, what about if I really push it, where I increase the leverage, I take some more aggressive trades. Now, still within my trading plan, of course, I only trade my trading plan. But what if I'm somewhat more aggressive with it? And when trying it, what happened was I started to receive some pretty big payouts in some accounts, and yes, some accounts got blown, but I discovered that it's extremely cheap and not difficult to pass the evaluations again and get new SIM-funded accounts. The new plan called for me to get a bunch more of SIM-funded accounts because the idea was once I achieve the payout, I will no longer trade a particular account, move to the next. Also, obviously, some accounts will get blown, and so it would take me a number of days to get funded again and reach the threshold. And in the meantime, I wanted to keep trading other accounts to keep receiving payouts. So my SIM-funded accounts overall rose from 12, I had 12, to 24. That allows me to, on any given day, to keep trading SIM-funded accounts to get payouts while working on new evaluations, and at the same time no longer trading accounts that got to a payout status. It's important to have a good number of accounts because remember, while a company like Take Profit Trader pays daily, Bullanox, for example, you apply on a Friday, you don't get paid until Wednesday the following week, right? With Apex, they require 8 trading days to get paid, and then it still takes them a day or two to actually approve and send you the money. So let's say it's once every 2 weeks. So you need a number of accounts so you can just keep on going and keep on generating profits. So after using this approach for half of May and then June and July, August I was on vacation, but over these 2.5 months, end of May, June, and July, I discovered that overall my payouts increased substantially by 30% to more. I mean, they increased substantially even after deducting the money that it took me to replace the blown SIM-funded accounts. Now, in the room, obviously, each trader should have his or her own plan. What I do is I announce ahead of time the entry, I describe the trade idea, I describe the target I might want to try and get to, and the stop, and sometimes the leverage as well if I'm trading 1 or 2 or 3 contracts. But of course, every trader is trading his or her own plan. As far as what is my edge, well, of course, US levels. This is the course that I teach. In the room, there are no levels because not everyone in the room took the course. So, just to be fair, it's just price bars. And often I would combine this with daily levels, which of course I post in Discord, HPS signals, and some experimental work that I'm doing currently. Now, I am new to the whole live trading room idea, and I do need to improve some aspects, perhaps of my communication, although the feedback I'm getting is that I'm doing fine, but I think I can still improve on the way I communicate some trades. It's just that, of course, in the heat of the moment, because I am actually trading, sometimes I find it challenging to verbally describe what is it that I'm looking for. But my goal, as with anything, is to keep on improving and, of course, to help the traders. So I'm going to continue to make weekly recaps of the events in the trading room, and of course in Discord you can see on daily basis what took place. I hope to see you in the room. Thank you all. See you next time.